With that, I would like to introduce to you this morning Bob Champagne, VP of Customer Experience Solutions at Smart Energy Water. He is our keynote for our water and smart technologies this morning, and he gave me a quick bio, which I love. So Bob is a 34-year veteran of the energy and utility sector, focused on data-driven, customer-centric transformation across the utility value chain. After starting his career at Entergy in New Orleans, Bob spent over 25 years as an industry consultant with companies such as KPMG, UMS Group, TMG, and OnVector Consulting, where he advised leading electric, gas, and water utilities worldwide on customer strategy, business transformation, and digital innovation. Since 2010, Bob has been at the center of several successful technology startups, focusing on extending smart meter and IoT insights across the utility operating model through innovative application of advanced analytics, machine learning, and AI. Bob is a native of New Orleans, and this means quite a bit, I will say, on a day like today after what happened with ITER, and a graduate of Louisiana State University. Welcome, Bob.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you, Claudia and Andres. This is my second in-person event. I was at CS Week with about 700 customer executives in Tampa a couple weeks back, and I got home and my wife said, Bob, you look like you got a kick in your step. You look happier, after a year of COVID. And I thought that was a good thing, and then she said, when you leaving again? So I'm here, and I was telling Andres this morning, I really, this is my first time at Digital 360. By the way, when she was reading the bio, I was with TMG, not CMG. But I'm envious of CMG, because based on a lot of the work that I've done, what I think you've put together here, especially with Digital 360, is an interesting collection of capabilities across the energy, utilities, water, gas ecosystem. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the ecosystem itself today, because I think that's where it's going. I mean, utilities can't think in their traditional silos. They need to think about this as a true ecosystem, and I think you put quite the brain trust together here. So thank you for that, and thank you for the invitation. Like many of you, I've watched the industry evolve a lot. 35 years ago, when I started my career with Entergy, I was part of an organization that was designed to change the company. It was a change management process re-engineering group. Had a lot of fun. We did a lot of great stuff. We brought 5 utilities together into a single one, Middle-South Utilities, and then ultimately Entergy. I was there when the logo of the rising sun was created, they used to call it. I'm not sure that was a good thing, but we had a lot of fun. I joined a group called UMS Group that was all about benchmarking the power industry, and actually the utility industry, water, gas, electric. And what we did was we went around the world, literally, about 150 organizations, just to go inside and interview everybody on what their innovation was, what they were doing differently to achieve best-in-class performance. And we would identify, measure best-in-class performance. Just a little side note, I was in Budapest, at Budapest Water, got off a 10-hour flight, walked into the hotel, it was probably midnight, and I said, my shirt's really wrinkled, so I hung it up in the shower, and for you water conservation guys in the room, this isn't the right thing to do, but I hung my shirt in the shower to get the wrinkles out. And about 3:30 in the morning, I got a knock on my door, and the guy said, sir, we're running out of hot water in the hotel. So a little lesson, if you're interested in water conservation, don't put your shirt in the shower when you're really tired. But I spent the last 10 years, and this has been the most fascinating part, involved in the squarely in the tech space and working with companies that were taking smart meter data, applying machine learning and artificial intelligence. One of those companies happens to be one that Andres was closely involved in, Grid4C, another one, Innowatts, who I was one of the founders of. But it put me squarely in the mode of how can we take raw data and use it and apply it across the value chain of the utility to drive innovation and change. And that was fascinating for me. And while I enjoyed all that technology, I really view myself as a customer guy at heart. It's how I'm wired. I heard yesterday, I kind of loathe the term ratepayer. And I think all of us are starting to see the flaw in that, in the semantics, I guess, of that. I started using the word consumer a long time ago until one of my close colleagues said, that kind of conjures up like a parasite, consuming. And that really stuck with me, because I think for us, customers have to be at the nerve center of this digital ecosystem that we're building. And so what SEW, I'm relatively new to SEW, Smart Energy Water. I'm not new to what they do. I run what we call our Customer Experience Innovation team. We're all about reinventing the customer experience. And we're proud of that. We have taken that reinvented experience, put together a platform, we call it a headless platform, that can quickly be installed in any utility, extremely quickly, dramatically change the customer experience by kind of wiring in best-in-class customer journeys and integrating with the ecosystem. And we're now, I'm proud to say, on our way to touching almost 1 billion customers with the platform worldwide across 320 clients. I have some slides I'll go through if we have time, but I want to play you a video real quick of that, a little bit about our platform, or a piece of our platform. But I want you to, when you see this, think about the impact it's having. Our CEO likes to say, and I love this mantra. He says, we can't live without water, and we can't innovate with power. That's Deepak Garg, our CEO and founder. And and so his vision is, he wants to impact 3, 4, 5 billion. He wants to impact the world with a cause of using customer experience to reshape and drive the innovation in the sector. And we'll share the video now, and then I'll come back and say a few more words.
How we contribute to global sustainability. How we conserve water, electricity, and gas. How we utilize critical data to recognize patterns and behaviors that will help us better understand the effect we have on our home. The digital mobile shift has transformed the entire customer experience, bringing cloud-based software, big data analytics, and mobility platforms to the forefront. Driven by customer demand for service at their fingertips, industries all around the world have completely rethought their approach to customer engagement. The utility industry is no different. It's no longer a demand service. The customer wants more from its utilities. This is Smart Customer Mobile, a digital customer engagement platform that provides utility customers with up-to-date usage, outage information, two-way communication, and more, allowing utilities to connect with their customers while drastically reducing operational costs and significantly increasing utility customer satisfaction. With the #1 customer engagement platform, provide the customer the user experience that they now expect from their utility.
Smart Customer Mobile is a product that is fully configured, works on a single platform, and is modular in its application, giving the customer a view of a utility that they've never seen before. Peak load management is very important, both for the utility and for the customer. What that does is allow customers to engage in programs and products that the utility offers, and really lower the generation needs of that utility in an area. So if you have that kind of communication and capability, you can make change quickly. The ability to look at energy usage on a daily or hourly basis. The ability to find out when service is out and what I should do about it as a customer. Times of restoration for power outages. All of those things are up to date and real time, and very effectively let a customer know what action they should take. You could receive a text, you could receive an email, you could receive a phone call. It's creating the relationship between the utility that allows the customer to keep up to date.
A lot of times when you buy a system, it's a canned system, you get what you get. With smart utility systems, we would meet regularly and we'd say, well, we really like that graph, but it'd be neat if it was this color, or what if the report did that?
We have a lot of initiatives that we need to accomplish. Some are more time sensitive, and the folks at Smart Utility Systems have been very supportive to us. They understand what things are very important to us.
You can't conserve water if you don't know where you're going or where you've been. This application puts a device in their hands where they can learn about it and continue to utilize other programs that are out there so that they can conserve water.
45% decrease in emergency response time. 51% reduction in customer call volume. 50% reduction in billing costs. 90% improvement in customer engagement. Using mobility and data to connect, bridging the gap between the utility and customer experience. This is Smart Customer Mobile.
Yeah, I want it. You want it? Okay. We, and you know, like I said, I mean, I'm really proud to be affiliated with Deepak and the team. We've got 1,000 people. We just crossed 1,000 people working we say educate, engage, and empower utilities across the world to help customers, not consumers or ratepayers, save energy and water. And it's the first time in my career that I've actually felt like I'm working for a cause. And it's been a good ride. A couple things I'd maybe take away from. You could flip forward a few slides. I'll tell you when to stop. Yeah, you can stop there. Go back. So a couple of things I'd maybe like you to take away from that presentation or that video. When we think about how customers engage with their utility. Let me start by saying this. About a decade ago, there was this study by Accenture. And Accenture said utilities engage with their customers less than 9 minutes a year. And I was a consultant at the time in customer experience, customer service. And all of my clients, without hesitation, were saying, you see, Bob, we got to engage more with our customers. And that was the philosophy for a long time. Then I had a boss when I was at Innowatts say, customers don't want to engage with their utility. And I said, that's interesting. What do you mean by that? Because that kind of is heresy to most customer executives. And he said, because do you want to interact with your utility? When do you want to interact with your utility, Bob? And it got me really thinking that in the end, we don't want to engage with our utility. What we want to have is an experience at the right time, in the right place, ideally in the right context, and when it's most relevant for us. And so the way we've designed that experience is, first and foremost, And if you could flip forward to there's a screen in there, keep going. Keep going. One more. One more. One more. Okay. And I don't like to just focus in on the app itself, right? Because it is all about the experience. But one thing I would say from what you heard from our clients is we get the basics right? Customers, if they want to sign up for service, or they want to pay a bill, or they want to see an outage map, I mean, those are the kind of table stakes, if you will, of customer experience. You can't get that wrong. There are tons of platforms out there that do that. We think we do it a little bit better because we make some of these things available before you have to register on the site. You know, you can do things before you log in. You can do things after you log in. But all of the basics are right there. That's the table stakes. The second thing is, how do you use data to personalize the customer experience? And you know, I'll skip the kind of early parts of that journey. I'll give you one that I really like from Dr. Noah Ramini at Grid4C, because I'm using that to wire in this into our customer experience platform. Is Constellation Energy has the ability to look at smart meter data, isolate an appliance through non-intrusive disaggregation, isolate an appliance like an air conditioning unit or a pool pump or a water heater, identify when there's an anomaly in that. So we used to send Constellation Energy a list of customers the prior day who had an anomaly in their AC system. That triggered Constellation Energy to go out, send the customer an alert saying, we saw an anomaly in your HVAC system. Would you like us to send out a technician and do a free AC tune-up? Which turned into a money-making business for them, right? See, that's what we should say we want, because that in the background, that's happening. That's an incredibly personalized experience that takes customer engagement and puts it on a completely different level. So personalization and using data to personalize it. I'm not going to go through a lot of that. If you could back up a few slides. I'll just touch on this real quick. That one. Whoops, sorry. When we think of business intelligence, we used to think about it as getting data, reporting, and visualizing the data. We've moved to now being able to diagnose and detect it. And the more we put machine learning and AI into this mix, we're able to predict and simulate and transform the experience. So, you know, from that example I gave you on Constellation, that the ability to do that is based on our ability to get the data, aggregate the data, condition it, synthesize it, learn from it, and then turn it into action, right? And that's the crux of our platform. And then the last thing I'd say is the ability to integrate with the wider ecosystem. So when Pat was talking yesterday about retail competition, I was thinking about all the work we did in Australia and the UK and New Zealand and Texas when I was at Innowatts, particularly out in California with the CCAs now. And while as exciting as this technology is, the ecosystem has become so complex and so fractured, right? That, you know, I was sharing with Andres this morning, you know, a CCA in California owns the retail customer experience. They buy the energy, controls 60-70% of the customer's energy bill, right? They don't have the responsibility of engaging with the customer. The utility does. The utility runs the DR programs, right? The utility holds the meter data. They're reluctant to share it with the CCAs. You have property owners. You have companies that are driving marketplace for services, and this circular economy is not conducive to the way we've traditionally designed our systems. And so maybe the last slide I'll share with you, it's kind of a complex one.